Hello and welcome to our latest webinar. We have today a discussion panel with some lovely retailers and experts, and we're going to be looking at the ongoing, never-ending topic of loyalty and retention. Now, we know this spans every touch point of the business, everyone's role, every activity. But we thought we'd take a quick view today at the emergence from pandemic. So while all of our customers were locked away with just their browser and a limited number of bookmarks and opportunities, they were, of course, A, shopping online, and B, ostensibly loyal. But now that freedom has come to us all and we have an opportunity to, for the customer to look elsewhere, what are we doing that is retaining our interaction with them, and more importantly, the interaction of their wallets with our businesses? So I'm pleased to be joined in our digital studio today by four lovely guests, and we're going to spend the next half an hour or so in discussion around a couple of the key topics, most importantly, their insights, learnings, preferences, and tips for how we can make more from this path to loyalty and retention. So welcome everyone to the studio. It's a great sadness we can't all be together enjoying a Negroni or alcohol-free tipple. But here we are in digital land. Let's kick off by introducing ourselves. We have Liam from Trisons, Talia from Yotpo, Mr. Mahoney from Whittard of Chelsea, and Charlotte Coe from Joseph. So good they named it twice. So let's hear from them all. Let's kick off with you, Charlotte. Thank you for joining us. Tell us a bit about your role, Joseph, for anyone who isn't already addicted to the products, and how you're approaching loyalty. And then we'll hear from Dan, Liam, and Talia in that order. But Charlotte, kick us off, please.
Hi, thanks, Jan. So I'm Charlotte, Head of Performance Marketing at Joseph. I've been with the company for almost 4 years now. And essentially, for the one who don't know kind of what Joseph is all about. So we're a homeware and a kitchenware brand founded by twin brothers, Richard and Anthony Joseph, about 15 years ago. We're a British brand based in London, and we are traditionally a wholesale brand. But we've kind of recently expanded into more direct-to-consumer through josephjoseph.com, which is the website I'm responsible for. In terms of our business, direct-to-consumer is still very much kind of a new channel for Joseph. But obviously with the pandemic, it has massively grown over the last 18 months. And retention, obviously, for us is a kind of a very important topic. I would say it was probably important even before COVID, but with the influx of new customers that we have had over the last 18 months, obviously it's making retention very much kind of very high on the priority list. So so we're still kind of going on that, kind of working on that journey. We are integrating with Yotpo at the minute, and and hopefully build like a very nice community of found Joseph customers.
Great. Well, I certainly know when we were locked down and cooking, we spent a lot of time looking for your products. So Charlotte, welcome. Dan, lovely to see you again. Thanks for joining us. Just give us the thumbnail on Whittard's, your role and personalisation, please.
Sure. So good to be with you all. Thank you for the intro. So yeah, I'm Dan Mahoney. I'm the customer director at Whittard of Chelsea. For those of you who don't know Whittard, we are a specialist retail brand. We sell the finest tea, coffee, and hot chocolate that you can find. And we currently have 45 stores in the UK. We have a fast-growing e-commerce store, actually soon to be 2 e-commerce stores next week. We're launching whittard.com in support of whittard.co.uk. And we're going through the journey of moving from being a more UK-centric business into being a more globally focused brand. My role is I'm responsible for all of our marketing that we do, and also on the digital side, I'm also responsible for commerce and customer experience. And regards loyalty and retention, this has been it's been a really interesting journey for us over the last 2 years. It's incredibly important. I'd say it's certainly in the top 3 company priorities that we have. It's changed a lot in the last few months, and if anything, its importance has just increased. So yeah, understanding our customers and then being able to build more relevant products and services to those customers, whoever they might be, is right at the top of our priority list as a brand.
Great. I mean, it's lovely to hear this idea of building the product for the customer. So it's not just a case of marketing at people to force them to be loyal. There really is this interaction with what you need to change as well as how you need to talk to them. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about that, Dan. Thank you and welcome. Talia, you've had a name check already, so tell us about you, about Yopo and loyalty and retention, please.
Sure. So yeah, I'm Talia. I'm a director of marketing at Yopo. Yopo's an e-commerce marketing platform. We work really nicely with direct-to-consumer brands like Joseph and Whittard, and we offer a number of tools to help you really connect and build relationships with your customers, like reviews, UGC, loyalty, SMS, and more. And we have seen a huge interest in building loyalty programs post-COVID. I think anyway, we were trending towards that pre-COVID. But I can say from a marketing and from a demand perspective, the amount of businesses that have come in interested in building a loyalty program and in sort of fleshing out their retention stack, we've really seen a lift. So yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Now, perhaps help me with some terminology here, because loyalty is one of those things that is thrown around as if it's a universal good, but we often talk about it simply in terms of repeat purchases. So if you're the only shop in the village, I'm going to buy again. If you're the cheapest, I'm going to buy again. Or if you promote and incentivize and you keep buying my custom, I'm going to purchase again. So how do you tease out, or do you tease out any difference between simple repurchasing, habituation, lack of choice or promotion on the one hand, with this, I don't know, more sweet smelling idea of loyalty? What do you mean by loyalty, and how is it different from simple repetition or habituation?
Sure. So we'll break it down into sort of emotional and transactional loyalty. So transactional loyalty is really based around brands sort of incentivizing people to do the things that they want by offering discounts, for example. That's really transactional. I might just be coming back to your brand because you offered me 25% off of my next purchase. That's well and good, and that works for a lot of brands. What we find is far more valuable is emotional loyalty. And that is when somebody really loves your brand and they keep coming back because they love your brand. I will say there should still be a value exchange. People still want maybe a discount, a VIP tier, some recognition of them being loyal. But it's really, really powerful when they feel connected to your brand because they're connected to what your brand stands for, because your brand supports a cause that they're connected with, or because they simply just have a great experience kind of shopping with you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a very helpful distinction. Thank you, Talia. So Liam, lastly but not leastly, welcome. Tell us who you are and a bit about Trizens as well, please.
Hi, everyone. Great to be here today. So yes, my name's Liam Downs. I'm the Strategy and Customer Success Director at Trizens. So Trizens is an agency. If you didn't already know, we're an international digital agency. We specialise in not only building digital e-commerce sites, but also supporting our clients in being successful in that space with a full holistic view around what drives performance, with obviously the topic today, loyalty, driving some of that performance as well. So from my perspective, my role within the business is, I guess my background is all client side. So I've spent kind of the last 17, 18 years running digital teams for various different retailers, including Body Shop and Hush Homeware more recently. So my role is to really take that experience and work with all of our clients to ensure that we're delivering on expectations, but also supporting and driving out those roadmaps. So when it comes to loyalty, really supporting everyone in understanding what's the right approach, how do we deliver a great loyalty experience for your customers, not only through the technology, but through the messaging and experience and everything that encapsulates that loyalty enhanced experience.
Great. So when we talk about loyalty, a client comes to you and says, Liam, I'd love you to help me with loyalty, mate. And you go, of course, that'll be X pounds. After they fainted and said, oh my God, what's the ROI on that? What metrics are your clients using to balance your reasonable and very well-deserved fees against the benefit of their business? Is it simply increased sales? Is it, what are they coming to you and saying, when I say loyalty, these are my metrics, can you deliver them for me?
Yeah, I would say that that's not our approach to start with. I'm not sure. Dan being a client, I think if he said I want to do loyalty and I gave him the number, we wouldn't get very far in that conversation. I think for us, it's really understanding the client and the business and what they want to achieve, and the position that they're in as a business as well, and all of the building blocks that build into delivering a forward, front-facing loyalty program to a customer. How do we build those blocks up? Do we have the technology available to do it? Do we have the data in a usable format? Do we have it warehoused in the right way? Are we able to then leverage that out to use it to communicate to customers? How do you want to deliver? Do you know how do you want to deliver loyalty? Because as you say, it's such a broad topic. It touches on so many aspects. Is it going to be tiny little surprise and delight elements that are going to keep people coming back, that you might personalize to top tier customers? Do you have a tiering model in place? What could that look like? Do you know who your top customers are? So going through a full suite of those kind of discovery questions and really understanding what position we're in as a group, and then building that out to a roadmap of, do we want to go big bang? Is this a big bang project where we want to do everything at once and it's a fully fledged point scheme that we're going to be shouting from the rooftops about, to our customers? Or is it, we have slight, phased approaches to build it out? So that's the type of conversation that we have, and that is different for every single
Fine. So I'm sort of I get your perspective there, Liam, but knowing Dan, I can't believe that he hasn't thought ROI before lifting the telephone to call you. So maybe I can just ask Dan and Charlotte, when you're talking to your boards, who of course are desperate to give you more money to invest. We know that conversation. Dan, please spend more money. When you're talking about investing, what performance metrics are you looking at before you start an extra bit on this loyalty journey? Where are you measuring return, Dan?
It's a good question. It would, of course, depend on what type of thing we're looking at. But in this space, some of the most important metrics will be: is the number of loyal customers, is our active group of customers, is it growing? Are the number of customers that we've got in what we would call our active customer database, is that swelling? And are those customers becoming more profitable? So are our customers, becoming more valuable, and are we delivering services and products to them in a more relevant way to enable them to become, what we call our super customers at Whittard? And I think loyalty is so fascinating because it really covers every part of your business. I think this conversation would be easy to take down the route of digital technology solutions and how I'm encouraging someone to make that next transaction. But there's the product experience that a customer's getting, doing what you say you're going to do. That's something that we've been focusing on a lot. And one of the biggest parts of that is getting the right information to look at to validate that that's happening. So whether that's customer behavior, and looking at customer behavior in the right way. I think probably one of the biggest things that we've learned in the last 18 months is that we were looking at customer behavior metrics at too high a level. So our customers are behaving in very different ways when you get beneath the surface and you start looking at category level and you start understanding more about missions. And actually, if like the conversion rate of a website, if you roll everything up, it starts to mean very little in the end, and it's a bit of a vanity metric. So we've spent a lot of time trying to focus on understanding how our customers are behaving at a category level, or a gifting customer versus a self-purchase customer, and then how we can affect those customer journeys. But yeah, that voice of the customer part is absolutely crucial, and that's something that's played a more important role in our trade meetings over the last 18 months, I'd say. Are we living up to our customer promise, and does it say wow all the way through the journey?
Yeah, I love that integration with traditional trading metrics as well. Now, Charlotte, there's no hiding in some respects, because you've got head of performance marketing as your title. So I'm expecting some really hard-nosed, unemotional metrics here. So when you're talking about, I don't know, whether it's implementing Yotpo or developing your loyalty program, do you have any additional metrics over and above what Dan has shared? And perhaps would you like to share those with us?
Yeah, sure. We did a bit of a kind of analysis on that side of things, and we know that on average, a repeat customer is about 20 to 50% cheaper than acquiring a new customer. So it is a cost saving and opportunity for us to actually build retention. So definitely for us, it's about increasing the customer lifetime value, whether it's by the main objective here is to increase frequency of purchase and try to get customers who purchase once with us to join us again for a second order. I'd say kind of the main challenge for us is because we're a wholesale brand. There's definitely an emotional connection. So Talia was talking about emotional connection just earlier. There's definitely an emotional connection already there for Joseph. Then the next step for us is to build that kind of sales channel connection. So get customers to purchase again on josephjoseph.com rather than through John Lewis or an Amazon.
Yes.
So that's
even though we love our retail partners, of course.
We do. I would say the key metrics for us is building that customer lifetime value 100%.
Interesting. And Talia, you gave us some really nice distinctions earlier on. Do you have a basket of metrics that if someone is scratching their head thinking, I know from a brand perspective I want to do more, but where do I make the business case? What would be the top metrics that you would be saying this is where the ROI comes from your massive amounts of effort?
Sure. I think Charlotte and Dan have pretty much covered it all, but I would say the repeat purchase rate, so the percent of customers that are making a second, third, fourth, fifth purchase, the number of purchases that those customers are coming back to make, and then the overall customer lifetime value are the three things that we find people look at, or those are the metrics they're trying to improve when they launch a loyalty program.
That's great. Well, I have all of those metrics embroidered on my pillow, which is why I sleep at night. Thank you for that. Now, we've been so positive so far, this lovely world of increasing loyalty and happiness, but it's been a kind of tough 18 months. Charles alluded to, the channel shift. Dan has all these stores which obviously people couldn't visit or pass on their way to work or leisure. So let's maybe look at what's happened this year, and what has been the biggest challenge in engaging with customers. Dan, you've had a rest. What's been the hard thing for you this year that hopefully you've now solved or remediated?
I'll be greedy and I'll reference two things. It's a tiny bit different, but I think first thing, which has actually been a big blessing for us, is that whilst physical retailing has been very tricky at times over the last few months, What it's enabled us to do on the data side is get a much better understanding of our domestic consumer. So where it's been the domestic consumer who has been in our stores, we've been able to get a much cleaner view of who those customers are and what they want. And where we were seeing great success from tourism and international customers visiting our retail estate, it was causing us a challenge on the insights that we were seeing to behavior. So that's been something that has changed our understanding of how our domestic customer wants to buy from us in our physical retail store, which turned some lights on last year and has enabled us to be a lot more focused this year. So that's been a challenge turned into a positive. And I think the second thing, which is in our physical experience, a huge, not just physical experience, but in our brand, a huge part of what we do is sampling, tasting. Tasting really drives sales at Whittard. So, if we put a product onto taste in our store, or if we sample products in e-commerce deliveries or at marketing events, then we can have a direct and quite powerful impact on customer buying patterns. And of course, with COVID, it was very tricky to have sampling. So our hot chocolate machines and our teapots were all off the shelf in store. So we were having to find more innovative ways of enticing the customer to come on a journey with us and showing them, how to experience new flavors without potentially being able to taste at scale in the moment. So that's definitely been a big thing that we've been able to navigate, have had to navigate, and we're really excited that we're starting to be able to come back on to tasting in the last few weeks. And again, we see the immediate impact of that in customer buying patterns.
I love the idea of tasting at scale. It's making me feel hungry just thinking about it. Thanks, Dan. So, Charlotte, what's been your challenge? You've mentioned, obviously, the move direct to consumer while also maintaining the wholesale channel. Have there been any other challenges or a challenge this year that has tested you as you've tried to engage the consumer?
I mean, from a brand point of view, obviously, having kind of all our retail partners closing during the lockdown has been a bit of a challenge for the brand, definitely. I would say for e-commerce, it's definitely been an opportunity on the other hand. So for us, I would say in terms of challenges, I guess the uncertainty within the market has been a challenge, but then it's definitely allowed us to thrive and grow quite significantly. So for us, more, I would say from a loyalty point of view, it's kind of about building the loyalty, that kind of retention with all the customers that we have acquired over the last kind of 18 months. So it's kind of more next steps. What do we do? And we've have so many customers that came to us during lockdown because, like you said, everyone was stuck at home cooking and upgrading their home environments. For us, the challenge is probably more now that how do we kind of build a retention? But that's what we're working on.
Good. Well, you sort of moved me on to my next question. So we may as well follow that, which is where are you investing now to progress the journey for customer engagement and retention? So where are you putting your efforts and investment and why?
Yeah, I guess over the last kind of 18 months, we've really invested in upgrading the website, enhancing the customer experience overall, just to try to deliver the best possible customer experience in general, before we even thinking about a loyalty scheme. It's also about kind of translating that. Obviously, if you're at home and you can't experience the product in the context of a store and just kind of touch and feel the product, then it's about kind of translating that as well, emotion connection to the product on the website. Hence why kind of the content and that's what we've been really working on. I would say now we're looking into a proper loyalty scheme. It's about kind of differentiating josephjoseph.com from other retailers because we know our customers have a very strong emotional connection to our products.
And how do you differentiate it? Because the obvious things are, you have more time and knowledge to do amazing product images, great product descriptions. Everyone's going to reach immediately for a video camera and do how much I love my Joseph and Joseph chopping board, etc., etc. Is that enough, or what does it take now to make josephjoseph.com stand out as the biggest trade magnet compared to seeing it on any other site? Is there some secret ingredient or some hard work needed?
It's a lot of hard work, I would say. I would say, yeah, the user experience overall on the website, so try to have the best product description, the most detailed product images, is simple things really. And we recently implemented question and answers as well through Yotpo on our product pages, which has also really helped because customers can directly get in touch with us and ask a question, and our customer service team will get back to them pretty quickly. So that's what we've been doing, and also in the background we've been working on all things fun like logistic and trying to improve our delivery proposition as well as customer experience. So being available, implementing live chat, and just trying to be kind of available to them. So we're here to support and to help.
I love that balance between the website and the marketing looking good, but also the logistics being good in order to support that. Talia, let's jump to you. And you've got a number of tools at your disposal you can blend together. What do you think has been the most challenging shift that retailers have had to undertake in order to make the most of retention over this period?
Sure. I think what's happened is sort of every business became an e-commerce business, and it became a lot harder to compete on things like price and selection because everyone was trying to compete on those things. And the importance really came down to customer experience and this idea of emotional loyalty, which Joseph and Whittard really capture so nicely. I think I'm not returning to buy more Whittard tea or more Joseph and Joseph products because you've given me a discount, so much as I know these brands and love them. And the discount helps. So it will increase my repeat purchase rate. But it is really, like Charlotte said, it's really the investment in the customer experience, differentiating the customer experience. I've seen some really cool and creative things that brands have done. One thing that I love that I think I'll take a turn and sort of not talk about loyalty programs for a moment. What I'm seeing more and more, and what I think we all need to be paying attention to, is SMS. A lot of brands are starting to implement SMS as a way to communicate with customers. I hear from a lot of retailers, people don't want to text with me, they're especially in UK, especially in Europe. And we've actually done some research that shows that people are, you sort of don't realize it, but people are already subscribed to receive SMS from brands. So I thought, oh, I don't get any SMS from brands. And then I realized no, I do get SMS from my bank. I get SMS from Amazon. Why shouldn't brands that I truly love be appearing in my SMS as well? So I think that's a really interesting way to deal with some of the challenges, is standing out and offering this great customer experience in new channels and in unexpected places.
And there is no more direct channel to a customer than through their screen. Liam, in a way, you get to see everybody's problems because they're asking you for help. So if you had to summarize, I know it's a challenge, but when you look back over the last 18 months, what has been the biggest ask from retailers and brands for you to solve? Where have they been struggling and needed some help to progress?
Yeah, so I would echo a lot of the points that the rest of the panel have made. Actually, I think the number one standout is certainly for, I guess, traditional bricks and mortar retailers. It's that shift, the shift between customers who may never have shopped online, their expectations of service, experience, brand immersion coming onto a site are completely different to someone that is a digital native. So it's about the biggest question is really how do we match those expectations? How do we deliver that service? How do we deliver that immersiveness? And you know, if I was to take out one of the things that maybe hasn't been touched on so far is, you know, we've all been sat at home in lockdown for the last 18, 24 months. There was a big piece around escapism and immersing yourself in that shopping experience. So content played a huge piece. And, you know, how do we start syndicating and delivering content at a greater pace in different ways to allow our customers who aren't, now it's not just that transaction, they're wanting to come to our brand, they're wanting to have that experience, they're wanting to find out more about, you know, what we think about the world outside. And so how do we do that? And talking about how we bring that into a digital world. Interesting, now we're having a lot of conversations how you flip that on the head. And how do I take everything that I've built into a digital world back into a physical experience is going to be one of the biggest challenges that comes now in the coming 12, 24 months. So they're the two big conversations that we are really having with our clients at the moment.
And again, just to put you on the spot, is there anybody that springs to your mind that is taking the digital and you know, breathing life into a physical store environment that you just want to give a name check to?
Well, I mean, the standout really of brands, and it's not one of our brands, by the way, that's been doing it for a while, and Beauty Space, I think, does this really well, and it's one of the areas where they've pushed forward. So someone like Sephora, in terms of how they manage loyalty across all channels,
yeah,
with their club is great, and you get the same experience. You've got the technology in store to be able to deliver it. You know, it's true. It's pretty truly omni-channel. So they're one of the standouts, I think, and they say they've been doing it for a while now. But that's
so again, it is, yeah, so it's about that connection and having real things available across channels. Now, we've been talking about channels, but we also have many mechanisms at our disposal. So Dan, I'm just thinking, you know, if I add up all the topics you touched on, we're looking at content, merchandising, stores, subscriptions, email. Talia's added in SMS. Charlotte has added in wholesale. Liam has mentioned the digital store. Like, you know, you're a talented guy. You have lots of levers at your disposal. All of them have to be at the customer's disposal. The question then, how do you go about balancing your loyalty activity across all of these silos where there's a capable person trying to optimize their channel or their bit? How do we bring coherence across this tool set that spans the whole business? Dan?
Yeah, I mean, this is a big priority for us, actually. I think we've got to sort of critical mass of lots of good things going on that are having a positive impact on the customer experience, but it's pretty sort of manual hard graft to keep that all aligned and working in some kind of harmony. So, you know, I think on our radar, sort of for the near future, is to make some technology investments for, you know, modern marketing, modern sort of customer connectiveness platforms where we can have access to more channels and more touch points to the customer that are running through one point of reference. And I think we're not there now, but so it's hard to glue all those data points together and make sure that, you know, also I'm sure there's lots of a challenge lots of brands suffer from is in your desperate want to deliver brilliant customer experiences and interact with customers at the right moment in time. There's a lot of waste in there as well. You know, there's going to be a lot of repetitive marketing messages going to customers at the wrong moment in the wrong channel. So we're focused on improving how we do that as well. And I think that when I think about investments that the business will make into next year, I think this is pretty high up on the priority list. You know, we've got some great technology, but what we haven't got is great connectedness across our stack, I would say.
Interesting. What a lovely thought of bringing that coherence. Charlotte, how do you make all these various bits and bobs, channels, levers, etc.? How do you get them to work in harmony?
Well, I guess Forrest has been kind of being really careful about kind of selecting the tech stack. So just getting all the right tech partners, the right that we're kind of identifying where the gap is and then finding the right partner to fill that gap. So we're pretty much there. I mean, I'm just, again, talking just from an e-commerce point of view, so direct to consumer channel. But yeah, we're there now, I would say, in the UK. It took us a while, but we're there. So we're looking into kind of the next step of our journey now.
That's great. Okay, well, listen, in a moment we'll be wrapping up, and I just want our panelists to think about, in a word or two, the customer doesn't care about our jargon, loyalty, this, promotion, that, they don't care. So what is it the customer wants when she looks at her interactions with the brand that for you sums up the effectiveness of loyalty? So in the customer's words, what would that be? I'll give you a moment to think about it, because I've been so moved by the thought of chocolate that I think it's time for our first ever giveaway. So if you would like to get a humble box of tasting goodies from Dan and a humble kitchen implement, I would suggest the chopping board, but Charlotte can advise me, from Joseph. If you want those, drop me a note. So I would like to hear from you via research@retailx.net. I want to know, what is your KPI for loyalty and retention? So you've heard some great ideas from Dan, from Charlotte, Talia and Liam, but I want to know how you are justifying investments in and the performance of loyalty programs in your business. I don't care how big, how small, but mail me, and then we will use our amazing computer algorithm, also known as Sophie, who will pick two winners. One will get a little present from Joseph, and the other one will get a present from Whittard's. Yes, you're welcome. I've never done it before, may never do it again, but that's what happens, Dan, when you mentioned chocolate on a webinar. So let us know your thoughts. We'll be coming back to this topic again. I would just like to get a feel for where in the business, in trading, in marketing, performance, we're getting the metrics for this. Right, that's enough time for our lovely panel to think. So let's start off with you, Charlotte. What would the customer say is loyalty? In her words, what is she after if it works?
She's after a number of things. I would say she's probably after what we think our customers after is not just a product, not just for the kitchen, but for every kind of areas of her home, and she's looking at kind of improving her day-to-day life, essentially.
Improving her day-to-day life. Okay, I love that. Liam, when in the customer's words, what is successful loyalty?
Yeah, so I think it's the triggering of a positive emotion, and that could be any of those levers that you might want to pull around price or promotion or exclusive access. But it's about triggering that internal emotion to feel like you're loved by the brand, and you're ultimately getting something that someone else isn't, and you're a little bit special.
So we have that. Actually, that's quite a subtle set of differentiations. I'm not only loved, but I'm also beating all of my friends and family by getting more than them. Liking your thinking, Liam. Talia, what is it the customer would recognise as their personal success metric for loyalty?
Sure. I think I want to answer from the customer, and actually then after that from the brand perspective. From the customer perspective, it's some kind of value exchange. They want a reason that they feel that they'll keep coming back to you. Typically, the best way to do it is start with a sort of hard incentive, like a discount. But the way you maintain that is really through experiences and emotional loyalty. So that's what customers want. And then I can't believe I've gotten through a whole webinar on loyalty and retention without talking about zero-party data. The reason that brands want loyalty, need loyalty programs, is because it gives them access to zero-party data in light of all the recent privacy changes. This is super crucial. So I need to say that, lest somebody on my team get mad at me for not mentioning those magic words.
Well, Look, it's a very good point. I'm sure your team has all been watching our numerous webinars on zero-party data as well. So thank you for that link. And we will, in the write-up, link to some of those webinars and white papers as well, because it's a very good point. Entirely thank you, Dan. In between mouthful of hot chocolate, your customer is congratulating herself. How? What's the win for your customers from loyalty?
So I'm last, so this should be good, right? So
no pressure.
I wrote down that she would expect us to deliver a consistent and memorable brand experience, which is individual, engaging, and relevant, and delivered at the right moment in time.
Oh, what can I say? Lovely. Unfortunately, because this is live, everyone's heard you say it, so I can't even steal that phrase down there. But what a great ending. So thank you for that. Thank you, Charlotte, Talia, Liam, as well for your contribution. Don't forget, you can't win if you don't mail me. So research at RetailX.net with your loyalty and retention KPIs. Remember, 2 people are going to win. So if you don't enter, it won't be you. Guys, thank you so much indeed for this. If you're watching it live, thank you for your time. If you're watching on catch up, then do check beneath the video for the links, write-ups, and other useful things that we're able to cram into the notes. So we will be back with more in this series on engaging with a customer. But until then, with a massive thank you to our studio guests, all that remains is for me to say thank you for your time and happy trading.